In today's video, I'm going to read an email, and this is one of the longer emails I've come across, so bear with me. It's going to be long, but he's got one hell of a story, so I want to share it. And here we go. My story is very similar to everyone else's. It has to do with opiates. I was 16, 17 when I started smoking pot in high school. I had a pretty good life, no family problems, no financial problems. We were well off, so I really had no excuse to start using. I am the youngest of 3 older sisters and the only boy in my family, so I was sort of the spoiled one in my family. At the age of 19, I met the love of my life, my wife. We got engaged the same year when we were 19, in 2007. I started experimenting with promethazine and codeine around that time with my cousin. We are in Texas, down south, where a purple drink, as they call it, was a big hit. My cousin was older than I was, so I always followed his lead. Since I looked up to him, so he would send me and a couple of friends to a pill mill who would prescribe us 8 ounces of codeine, 60 Vicodins, and about 30 Xanax. At that point, I never thought that this was the beginning of my sentence to the next 7 to 8 years of my life, being imprisoned by invisible bars of addiction. I had a lot going for myself. Newly engaged, college student, running his father's business. I started taking Vicodin just here and there, and I still remember the confidence it gave me, the energy, and my performance at anything I did was through the roof. Sorry. Let me see here. Okay, where am I? He says, so I was slowly getting addicted, not knowing that Vicodin was a drug and that just because it was prescribed, it wasn't safe. So over the next couple of years, I was an undercover functioning addict. Undercover functioning addict. No one in my family knew I knew. I remember in the beginning I wouldn't mind sharing pills with my friends, but eventually I got to the point where I would be very discreet about having pills because I didn't want to share. By the age of 22, I had only finished 2 years of college. That was an early sign right there that I was letting go of my dreams by not finishing my 4-year bachelor degree. But my addiction wasn't bad enough at that point to make me quit, so my sister helped me land a great job in the mortgage finance industry at 22 years old, making $50,000 a year with an addiction and not seeing it as a problem. Probably wouldn't have a great ending. I had the picture-perfect life from the outside, but in early 2010, my wife was diagnosed with ovarian cancer while she was pregnant with our first and only child. I fell into depression and started drinking and popping 10 to 20 Vicodins with one or two Xanax a day. It didn't affect my work, as I would drink when I got off. I was the top performer and also got a pay raise, so I still didn't look at my addiction as a problem. It actually helped me cope with all my depression as I saw it. After my daughter was born, thank God, healthy, my wife started her chemo. She needed me for support, and my addiction flared out of control. I wasn't there for her at all. I was a mess. I took a FMLA leave from work and attempted to quit for the first time in mid-2011. After I went back to work, as predicted, I was back on Vicodin, relapsed. My family started seeing the truth of what was going on, finding pill bottles in my car. And so, okay. So for the next 2 years, I kept working and using as I thought it enhanced my performance. The movie Limitless was the worst inspiration as it influenced my addiction to get worse. Over those 2 years, I was arrested for DUI. So by 2013, my addiction was no longer a secret. Everybody in my family saw it as it was visible in my face and behavior. And I can't forget my money. I was spending 60% of my income on pills. I had a nice car, 2 street bikes, so it looked great, but I was empty from inside. I hated looking at reality, so I would just pop more Vicodin to escape from the truth. I couldn't stand watching my mom, dad, and sisters cry. In mid-2013, I was laid off because my behavior at work with coworkers was out of control. I used my wife's cancer as an excuse to just use more, and even though she was in remission and was cured, and our daughter was healthy, when I got laid off, in parentheses, I hate thinking back to those times, end of parentheses, I got even worse. I didn't, and no else in my family thought that it could get even worse. I tried 5-6 different times to quit and lasted 1 week, maybe 2 at most, and fell right back in. I was arrested again in 2013 after getting laid off, and also totaled my car, lost my bikes due to my financial situation. So I basically lost everything I had except my wife. She stuck by me and never gave up on me, even when I would give up on myself, left, and was and still is very supportive. Okay, now he says intervention. So after my arrest, my whole family, and I mean everyone, got together, uncles, aunts, sisters, brother-in-law, and they all cried, made me cry, and I started seeing my problem. I was sent to California for 32 days. I'm going to try and shorten this up. I tried the 12-step program, but mentally the whole time thought about opiates. I had hit rock bottom, but still had not realized. Okay, still not realized. I came back, and the second day used again. My dad helped me financially to start my own business, got me back on my feet, and all I did was get worse than before. I started robbing, stealing, selling my wedding ring, stealing my sister's jewelry, stealing from my wife. I had and have no memories of my daughter's first 3 years of her life. Those precious memories are all overtaken by these unpleasant memories. I tried to quit again, only to relapse to Oxy 30s. Oh God, my worst fear. I started snorting three or four a day, and it became a really expensive habit, especially when we had our own business. All the profit went to my addiction. 2014 and 2015 was spent on and off trying to quit Oxy. I went into debt with dangerous people who knew where my business was. I totaled my dad's car, had the police called on me countless amounts of times. All of our relatives' family saw me at my worst. I was not allowed to go to any family gatherings because my family was embarrassed of me. I took my dad's insurance money when I wrecked his car and sent a $4,000 check, and I bought 200 oxys, nearly overdosed, had in-out trips to the hospital, started having seizures from all the Xanax I was taking with oxys. My wife found straws in my pockets all the time. It got to the point where I was literally disowned by my family and wanted to kill myself on the streets. It took all that, and I started realizing that if I don't change, my wife will leave me. And I was surprised she hadn't after all I put her through. Now he says, recovering. March 2015, my dad lost everything behind my addiction. His business and investment went down the drain, over $500,000. I finally had enough and wanted to stop, but didn't know how. I left Dallas, went to stay with family overseas, spent about 6 months away from my wife and daughter. I came back sober, clear, sorry, guilty, but motivated. I have been sober for almost 1 year. I started by watching your videos on how to cope with recovery. I never ever thought that I would be normal again. I literally thought my future was overdosing, homeless, or prison. Me and my daughter are closer than ever. My wife has a glow on her face that nobody saw since before my addiction. I want to thank my wife for not leaving me, even though I put her and my daughter through hell, and my sisters and parents for not giving up on me. I feel I wasted so much of my life, but we are all faced with different challenges in our life, and we can overcome those. We will be stronger, and if we can overcome those, we will be stronger and more dedicated than ever because it took a lot of hard work and emotions to get to where I am now. I look at how much I lost while on opiates and how much I've gained since being sober. Okay, please don't share my story. Thank you so much for all your help. God bless you for all the people you have helped. And that's his story. All right, so thanks for the email. You have an incredible story. You obviously have faced a lot of hardships that you brought on because of your addiction, and you know it's crazy for some people. Some people have different addictions than others. I mean, everybody has a different story, and there's no question about how different we all are. And you had to go through a lot of legal problems, a lot of issues that you created, and I went through the same exact things you did. I mean, I was Mr. Destruction pretty much. I did a lot of things that I still regret to this day, but if I never would have done those things, I would never end up where I am now. And I believe that everyone has a path that they leave in their life. You have certain choices to make, and you have consequences for those choices. And depending on how you react to those consequences will tell you what stages you take next in your life and what steps you're going to be involved in and where you go. All right. There was a million different times I could have went a million different ways, and where I am now is probably the farthest fetched place I'd ever be. I mean, there was a lot of easier ways I could have went, and I wouldn't be here today. So I congratulate you on your recovery. You've been through a lot, and I'm glad that you didn't give up and go down a path that was probably much easier for you to go down. So congrats to you. If you would like to share your story, you can email me at ryan@compsport.com. In the subject line, put YouTube story, my story. Let me know if you want to use your first or last name or stay anonymous. Continue watching the videos. Please share these videos with people that you think may need it. These videos are helping a ton of people. Your stories are helping a ton of people. I'm getting a lot of emails. I mean, I've always gotten a lot of emails, but over the past 6 to 8 months, my emails are exploding. I might actually have to do this full time at some point. So I have to figure out a way to do that because working a construction job all day and then doing this at night, it's taking a toll on me physically and not so much mentally, but physically. I've had people write in and say, "Man, you look tired and you look like you're really wearing down," and I am. I'm getting tired. So, but I love doing this. So, and this isn't gonna stop. So keep on writing, keep on sharing. Let's get these stories out to people so more people can get help. All right, this was a very long video. Thank you for watching. If you watched all the way till the end, and leave some comments and some praise for him. Give him some love. All right. Thank you. Keep watching and leave some comments.